Hello and welcome to Radar Festival. You're here with Devolution magazine presents Devlog, and I'm here with nothing short of tech metal legends. Carbon are in the house.
Yes.
How are we doing?
Good. Yourself?
Very good, man. Just literally off the bus, we're straight here. So, how's it feel to be in the UK?
It's great. We haven't been here in
since pre-COVID, so like 2019 or something like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, topical. And there's Joseph Duplantier, played on no less than 2 tracks with you. Yeah?
Yep.
Correct? And you've toured with Gajura. Now, did you catch the Olympic ceremony?
Of course.
Did you see that?
I was drinking coffee and like just sitting down in this like in the lobby of the hotel, and I looked over in the TV and I was just like, "Holy shit! There's fucking Joe like in a castle, fucking playing in fire." It
was incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, it was wild.
I had to mention that. I know it's about another band, but I thought since you got that connection, who better?
Of course, man. Yeah.
So when you were working with him back all those years ago, did you have a feeling that Gajura could catch on to be that big?
Of course. I mean, we started playing. The first tour with them was
09
or something like that.
Yeah.
And just when we saw them play From the Sky, where Mario was just playing double bass for 6 minutes straight, we're like, this band is like,
they're going to be
unbelievable.
Plus, they've always been so hardworking and driven. I mean, those Duplantier boys are really like, they had their eyes set on the prize the whole time.
Now, you first came together in the turn of the century, 2000, then your first album came out in 2007. It was an amazing time for extreme music, was 2007, I think, because especially your first album was on Relapse, and Relapse at that time had such a stable of very progressive experimental music going on. What was it like for you, just like doing your first album in that environment?
I think it was the right environment for the time, for sure. Yeah, we were always listening to tons of Relapse bands, and we're tight with a bunch of the people that work there. And
we just had show with Dillinger for the reunion tour. They were on for a while, so
yeah, it seemed to make sense. I think it was the right move at the right time, and there was so many great bands coming out around then, and it was a scene. It was definitely a scene and a good time. Yeah,
because it was around about that time. It came out of hardcore, and it also came out of metal. And I was talking to Dino from Fear Factory about this, about like how the way metal was evolving at the time, where everyone sort of like was syncopated to the kick drums, and there was a lot of that going on. Meshuggah was happening, and all that sort of stuff. And I noticed on your first album, you were kind of hardcore leaning, and then further on, it became very metallic and sort of like staccato and different time polyrhythms and time signatures and stuff like that, which I find incredible to listen to. Do you guys have any like jazz training? Do you come from a jazz background? Because I can hear hints of that in there.
Elliot definitely has a jazz background. I was a classical piano guy in my youth. You don't have much.
Really.
Mike a little bit, right? Mike played
classical guitar. Yeah, not really much jazz though. I'm not really a huge jazz fan, but I like some of it. Yeah. Elliot turns us on to
you're a Holdsworth guy. Yeah.
Holdsworth, obviously. Like drummers like that. Like that's more fusion-y stuff though. Like traditional jazz like Mingus and Coltrane, of course. Like those are great.
What about Dingus?
Dingus isn't
bad.
What
about Lingus?
Yeah. Air Lingus?
Air Lingus.
Exactly. But I think in the beginning, the first record especially, we were writing music in a room together, and we're doing like more on our own little worlds and like making them come together. Sure. As opposed to the newer material, it's more like written like in the box in the computer, or on paper. So it's a little more syncopated in that sense. It's more thought of as one unit as opposed to like these different things coming together.
It's incredible the way songwriting has evolved since like the turn of the century.
Sure, yeah.
I produce music myself, and the amount of stuff I do over Zoom, and I never thought I'd be doing that. Back at the turn of the century.
Do you do that a lot?
Well, for certain things, for certain jobs, I have a production partner, and we'll check things out, and we can send files over and listen to it, and then talk on Zoom, and I can see his, see what his screen, and he can see mine, and we can do a lot of that stuff. Right. But like turn of the century, when you first got the band together, the idea that you could do that would have been quite something.
Yeah. You had to go to the studio. You couldn't even even just bringing a laptop and recording on a laptop was not a thing when we started. You had to go someplace to do it. Recording on with my old band Neck, we recorded on ADATs, so it was
ADAT.
like 3 machines that had to sync up and rewind together and align.
They would lose
every
the
time.
sync sometimes.
Yeah, they lose the sync all the time. It was a fucking nightmare.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, now it's crazy.
It wasn't even that far back. It was like about 97, 98. I remember a band called Future Sound of London did an album online, and that was seen as the future. They did a gig online.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just like that's so commonplace now.
Of course.
The ISDN thing.
I did see over COVID, like, because I was researching how we could maybe rehearse and play. And I mean, there's like, you know, within some utility I found, it was like within 150 miles, if you guys were within each other, that the lag was so minimal that you actually could all play in 4 different places at the same time. And actually
Just headphones on and...
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So, I mean, can you imagine, like, what's next?
Well, yeah, and you do hear about these collaborations that happen on different ends of the planet, and like, you know, so these bands that come together and they've done the whole album, they've never met each other. You know, it is possible. All of this stuff.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, talking of albums, is there work on a new Car Bomb album?
There sure is. You want to...
Sure. We've been working on it for a while. We started writing since COVID, and we're just taking our sweet time with it. We feel like we rushed the last one. And we really want to make sure that what we put out, like everybody's 100% happy with. And so there's no pressure, no rush. When it comes out, it comes out.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you had a live album out just last year. Last year.
Exactly.
Which is fantastic live album. Live albums are touch and go sometimes, like, you know, but that one's fantastic. The production's spot on for it.
Yeah.
Johan from Gojira's a sound guy.
Yeah. I've heard many good things about
He's
this.
He was the
amazing.
live
He's
guy,
amazing.
and he mixed it, and that guy's ears are just out of this world.
Yeah, I can't remember who said about him to me, but it was one of the bands that have support. I think it could have been Ern or Conjurer, perhaps. But they were saying like, oh, he was the dude, you know.
He's the guy. It's crazy. It's crazy. We saw him play a show. We did at an outdoor festival, and Gojira wasn't headlining, but the difference between their sound and the headlining band was like night and day. We're just like, wow, like he really has the stuff dialed in.
Absolutely.
I feel like any environment you put that guy in,
He'll nail.
he'll just crush it.
He's just, it's the ears, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got it.
And he's not afraid to turn things all the way up. That's like there's always just like
cool.
Yeah.
That's what we like.
Yeah.
But, I often say, like with engineers or producers as well, it's just you can have all the gear in the world, but your ears your most valuable possession.
Of course.
And your ability to notice nuance, you know, and just the finer things. Yeah, I need to read more about this dude because everyone keeps talking.
Yeah, Johan Meyer for anybody who's curious. Yeah.
Cool. So what you got in store for the show today?
New stuff?
New stuff. Yes.
No, I'm a big fan of give the fans what they want, what they know.
Yeah.
And I like. I think we should put the music out before they get to hear it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's maybe the better way to hear it. Also, is the way that we intended you to hear it.
Absolutely.
And then just destroy live with it. But so I think we took that approach for this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation again with someone the other day about how I don't like to listen to snippets of albums before they're finished.
Right.
Because you want to hear the whole thing.
The whole thing. Yeah.
I don't know if that's an age thing. But I like to listen to albums as a whole.
Sure.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all
It's a
guys
body.
doing it.
It's a body of work. It's like reading like a chapter from a book.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
you want to
And
get
then
the
waiting
whole,
6 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy. Yeah,
that's the way I think of it too. I mean, there's something to be said for like just singles, and that's good too. And that's obviously a generational thing where I mean, a lot of people like that are younger only listen to half a song. They're like. Like my girlfriend will listen to like a minute and then be like, I need to hear the next. I'm like, don't you want to hear the rest of the song? It's like, no, she's already on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So it all depends on your listening preference. But for us, like, I love listening to like Anima from Tool, like start to finish, or like Leviathan from Mastodon, or like Disco
timely,
Volante. See how I did that? That was good.
Yeah. 20-year anniversary of
exactly. Disco Volante is like one of our favorite records. Like that from start to finish is great.
Yeah.
So that's where we come from as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely a big fan of going for a long walk with a good pair of headphones.
For sure.
Put the whole thing on.
Just to immerse myself in it. Yeah.
What's some of your go-to albums that you love?
Yeah. This year, Ishan's self-titled album, I thought sounded like the best soundtrack to the James Bond film that was never made. Also this year, Julie Christmas at the moment. Julie Christmas, really feeling that record. There's a couple. Yeah. It's been a really strong year for albums, actually. There's been a lot of really good stuff. There's stuff I'm looking forward to. You know, for instance, like the new Hidden Mothers album is going to be an absolute killer. Anything on Church Road Records?
Yeah.
We're big Justine fans.
Yes,
Sammy,
for sure.
those guys are great.
Those guys are amazing.
Yeah, those guys are great.
Yeah, big up.
For sure.
So, got the show, new album. Is this going to be self-released again?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because I was reading up on you guys, like you sort of just decided to do it all yourself quite early on, didn't you?
We did.
Yeah, and in this day and age, like, that's not unusual, but when you did it was kind of unusual.
I think so, maybe. We had no ill will with Relapse. I mean, it wasn't like anything against them whatsoever. They were good to us, and if anything, we were not good to them.
Right.
We didn't tour a lot. We were working. I mean, we still do it. We still try to make it work the best that we can. But we feel like we can certainly in the digital age.
Yeah.
There's so many resources to promote and to distribute, and so what do you need the label for?
Yeah, well, that's the question that keeps coming up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it depends. I mean, it depends how much work you want to do. I mean, we're not doing this full time,
No.
and obviously, your time is a limited resource. So, as we're maturing, we want to do other things in our life besides music and work. So, how much do you really want to spend time like working on designs, or how much time do you want to spend on promoting? That's where people from a label or other people that do that type of thing come into play. So
I still think outsourcing though is a good move instead of just outright giving them ownership.
Yeah. No,
it depends. It depends on how you feel, like how much work you want to do, how much you want to put in. Like it all depends on personal
absolutely.
preference, for sure.
I think PR is something definitely that you still need.
Agreed.
Any band doesn't. I mean, when I see the amount of work that PRs do, I think you couldn't possibly be in a very successful band and do PR at the same time, because, like, when would you practice?
Exactly. Or when you have time to write, or just
For sure. No, that's a full-time job in itself,
it is.
financially.
For
That's
sure,
a great example of outsourcing, right? Like, let the pros take care of that. I mean, Greg's been saying it for decades, like, focus on the music, let everybody else do everything else. Like, this way, the music is the main focus of everything.
Absolutely.
It's a great philosophy for sure.
And your music takes a lot of concentrating on them. it's very intricate.
You can say that again.
It's heavy.
Talking of intricate, like, is it true that you made your own microphones?
Elliot was building for a little while,
Yeah.
Not micro. I don't know if he made a
He
microphone.
was making clones of like
preamps and shit.
of
So
preamps,
like a Neve, 1073
Wow.
or a Universal Audio 1176, like a compressor. He would build all the parts from this one vendor, and he had remember in his old apartment, he had a big giant bench with just like piled up to the ceiling of all these cardboard boxes and transistors and wires and crazy shit.
He was into it for a minute.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But again, it came down to a time thing. Like, there's just other things that have to happen now.
Absolutely.
So he can just buy, I don't know if you've seen Elliot's spaceship that he has. He's definitely posted plenty of pictures of it, but I don't think he's building any of it anymore, right?
No,
I think he's just buying and selling and buying and selling.
Well, yeah, I mean, the only other band that I've heard that still makes their own gear, I'm wearing the t-shirt, Author and Punisher, who's he's an engineer, so he builds all his own synths and things. And
Oh, nice.
And they're all made on joysticks and pulleys.
Yeah.
I find that stuff fascinating. I couldn't begin to get started.
What's the band Enslaved by Robots? That's not what it is.
Oh, I know who you mean. Yeah, it's
that
a
guy.
robot band.
Yeah. He made all them, and he's the slave, and they're all playing the music. And do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I can't remember the name, but that guy also. I mean, talk about building stuff, and wow.
Yep. The robots really are taking over.
Oh yeah. Who needs humans, man?
Well, we'll hang on for a little bit. We'll hang on. Right, well, thank you so much for being with me today.
Thanks for caring, man.
It's absolutely an honour to meet you guys. So have an amazing gig later on.
Thanks so much.
I look forward to that new album. Take care, man.
Thanks so much, man. Appreciate you.
All right, George.
Cheers.
Appreciate you, man.
Take care.
All right.